6 years after parting with Lucas, I passed away from work-related illness, leaving behind a 5-year-old daughter. Lucas, devastated, handled my funeral arrangements. He raised our daughter with boundless love and indulgence. My daughter has always resented him for my death and even ran away from home with that gold-digging man. The system had no choice but to recall me. Every time she causes trouble, she uses you, her dead mother, as an excuse. Hurry back and set her straight. The stay is short, make the most of your time. The living room was in complete disarray. Broken porcelain pieces covered the floor, tea soaking into the carpet in large stains. The girl in the center was still searching for more objects to smash. Lucas stood at the entrance, his back slightly bent, eyelids lowered, taking a deep breath. "Are you still angry?" he said. "Put on your shoes properly. Don't cut your feet. I'll have someone clean this up." The girl's face visibly flushed red again. "None of your business. Who gave you the right to control me? Because I'm your biological father. You and my mom aren't even legally married. Who would acknowledge you? That man is no good. He can't provide you with a decent life. LOL, you were bankrupt when my mom was with you, and now you're looking down on others. Back then, I just didn't have money. It wasn't about lacking ability. Oh please, if you're so capable, did she ever enjoy a single day of your success?" Silence fell instantly. Lucas swallowed hard several times, lowering his head. He fumbled nervously with his cuffs. The girl stepped over the debris and clattered up the stairs. She paused at the turn of the staircase. Maliciously, he spoke again. "My mother was pregnant when she broke up with you. How good could you possibly be?" Lucas raised his bloodshot eyes. "I didn't know she was pregnant with you. You wouldn't borrow money to invest if you knew." She spoke word by word. "Stop pretending to be sentimental here." The servant was as silent as a cicada in winter. Lucas walked to the center of the living room and sat down on the sofa, with his arms resting on his knees. He surveyed the mess around him. Bullet comments flashed before my eyes, bringing up old grievances every time they argue. Lucas is truly out of options. Mia knows exactly where to strike to be most effective. Given her mental state, I feel she has psychological issues. It's normal. Lucas was on the verge of a breakdown when he went to collect the female lead's body. Mia was only 5 years old at the time, watching her own mother die vomiting blood, bound to leave psychological scars. What about the female lead? Wasn't she supposed to be in the revival round? Why haven't we seen her yet? I heard it's still the ghost hour. Rebuilding a physical body takes some time. Just wait. So much has happened in these 11 years. A flood of information rushes through my mind. I couldn't believe my memories of that girl just now. Silver hair, a strapless top, low-rise cargo pants. Her lip piercing was obvious, and there seemed to be a tattoo on her waist. 16 years old. My daughter, Mia, you really deserve a slap in the mouth. The system is running around in my head. She just ran off with a gold digger and got caught. Thank goodness I wasn't tricked into getting pregnant. If I had gotten pregnant, this NPC would have completely broken down. All my points would be deducted. Think of a way to fix her. My year-end bonus depends on you. Bullying a ghost. I didn't say a word, drifted over to Lucas's side and sat down. It's been 16 or 17 years since we parted ways. You've gotten old, I said in my heart. Who would have thought you'd still look this good in your 40s? Indeed, a Ferrari is still a Ferrari even when it's old. Lucas pressed his fingers to his forehead. He took out his wallet and pulled out a photo halfway. I was slightly stunned. It was a 2-inch blue background ID photo, the one I used for job applications after graduation, wearing the suit from the photo studio. A stiff smile, photoshopped deathly pale, consciousness faded for too long. I can barely remember what I looked like when I was young. I thought the photos were ugly, so I should have disposed of the unused ones. I don't know where this one came from over the years. The photo has faded considerably. Only the eyebrows and mouth remain somewhat clear. Lucas touched the face in my photo. The phone suddenly rang with an incoming call. He slowly put away his wallet and calmly started discussing work. I floated up and circled around him a few times. The past was difficult in its own ways. He's not wrong, and neither am I. I stopped blaming him long ago. Lucas comes from a Hong Kong business family. In his youth, he was also a wealthy playboy. It was just that his family went bankrupt, forcing him to make his own way in life. If not for this twist of fate, he would never have met me. wouldn't have been relentlessly pursued and won over by me, wouldn't be squeezing into a tiny shared apartment with me. I was 22 when I met Lucas, fresh out of college, mass sending resumes at the job market, couldn't find a job, had to just watch the long line of job applicants, pondering which milk tea shop would be easier to shake. But Lucas was different, he was in high demand. Luxury brand counters and high-end sales positions were fighting over him like crazy. There were still some positions like group broadcasters and bartenders that couldn't squeeze in. Lucas spent half a day just to escape the crowd. I kindly went to warn him about the pitfalls. Sales is exhausting, and luxury counters are cutthroat. The group live streaming bar scams people into becoming prostitutes. Don't go to any of them. Just ask. They've contacted me too. I know the inside story. Lucas listened to me patiently, then he said, he wasn't here looking for a job. I knew it, dressed in that old-school tailored suit. Clearly money isn't an issue, didn't see that coming. That very night, I saw him being escorted out of the office building by security. He sat under a tree, slowly brushing the dust off the hem of his clothes. Later, I learned he was trying to secure funding, securing funding, finding engineers, and building an unknown team from scratch. Many people say he's crazy, including my boss. Lucas is so handsome. I thought about getting close to him and then introducing him to some wealthy women. Then I can definitely get a huge red envelope. I heard someone has done this before. A wealthy woman offered him a Maserati to keep him. The agent came to persuade him to enter the industry. He ended up taking a punch from Lucas, getting a black eye. I started paying attention to Lucas. His actions were very methodical. When people around occasionally mentioned him, it was always with mockery. A few words and traces of movement can piece together what he did and whom he met. In a carefully arranged coincidence, he came out of the office building where I work. Clearly, the attempt to secure investment failed again. We've bumped into each other so many times that we're practically familiar faces now. He recognized me and gave a polite nod. I treated him to a draft beer. Then I said, I think he's got what it takes. After all, the leaders merely mocked him for wanting to take a radical approach in a conservative market. They never said his judgment in selecting people and products was lacking. Lucas's polite and gentle expression froze. He raised his bloodshot eyes and stared at me motionlessly. The corner of the mouth twitched. Only then did the eyelids lower, forcing out a bitter smile. Drank a bit too much that night. Life taught me to strike quickly, to seize everything I desired. There's nothing to lose even if it fails. So, emboldened by alcohol, I kissed him in the alley. Lucas stiffened, his back against the brick wall of the alley. He was at a loss, feeling extremely awkward. Perhaps he thought I was being too aggressive, but he started including me in his social circle. When introducing me to others, he awkwardly joked at first, calling me his talent scout. Then it became the more serious label of friend, finally became my beloved. I contentedly took him into my possession. He is a qualified lover, loyal, patient, unruly, with a bit of machismo. Living together for 2.5 years, never made me spend a single penny, but in the end, what drove us to argue and part ways was also money. Lucas acted without regard for his own life. He would stake his entire fortune on a single choice. When the team he had his eye on officially began fundraising, he liquidated all his remaining fixed assets in Hong Kong by mortgaging them. Combined with borrowed money, he exchanged for over 8 million. He poured every last cent into the market. During this time, he made many similar investments. However, the amounts were not large. He didn't ask me for money, so I had no reason to object. But this time, it was 8 million. He is 27 years old. I have also been working for 2.5 years. Understand what million-level figures mean to ordinary people. I want to ask him to be more cautious. Please consider our future. And I'm pregnant. I didn't say that, because Lucas looked too cold, too stubborn. On the table was the money he had borrowed from an old friend, along with the loan certificate issued by the bank. Just a few thin sheets of paper, tucked beneath the ledger. Lucas sank into the sofa, smoking one cigarette after another. The smoke made me choke, my eyes stinging with tears. Could you please stop smoking? He stubbed out the cigarette and went to rinse his mouth. I clutched his sleeve desperately. With so much debt, did you ever think about me? The check in the room is for you. He lowered his eyelids. He wiped away my tears with his fingertips, devoid of emotion. Follow me, and you won't have to bear the debt. If you want to leave, consider that money my compensation to you. Perhaps pregnancy makes one prone to emotional breakdowns. I began to scream in disbelief. Am I asking for your money? Have you ever thought about what if you fail? Are you going to kill yourself? I will succeed. All those times before, when did you ever bring back good results? Lucas pressed his lips together and looked at me. The light in his eyes seemed to have gone out, half disappointment, half relief. He gently brushed my hand away and turned his back. The smell of smoke rose again. He leaned against the wall, his back slightly bent with weariness. A simple white shirt and trousers, worn with elegance. His figure blurred in my sight. I knew he would succeed. You never know how many times you'll fail before you succeed, nor do you know if you can hold on until the day he succeeds. He's an ambitious man, while I want a stable life. People who are not on the same path will eventually part ways. I wiped away my tears and went to pack my clothes. I counted all the things I needed to take with me. I walked toward the door. Lucas suddenly called out to me, unusually. He seemed a bit flustered, he said. A few days ago, a friend of mine mentioned seeing you at the hospital. I touched my stomach. The test strip showed only faint gray lines, so I wasn't sure, so I went to the hospital to confirm the pregnancy. He doesn't know. I was planning to tell him tonight, then we could have a proper talk about the future. I whispered softly, nothing serious, just a hormonal imbalance. Got some medication prescribed. The suitcase wheels were rolling. Winnie, he called me, his lips moved, and he spoke again. I remember that box was broken. I didn't respond. His attempt to keep me was too subtle, so I had the right to pretend not to understand. I packed a few clothes and moved out that night. I didn't take the check he offered. He didn't take anything related with him. Every penny might be his future lifeline. This is my last act of kindness. After parting ways, there was no further intersection. At the age of 25, I gave birth to Mia and still lived as a Beijing drifter. Her birth brought me good luck. For the next 4 years, I kept getting salary raises. The salary was enough for me to move into a slightly larger rental in the East District, with some savings left. I don't follow financial news. It wasn't until Lucas's face started appearing frequently in short videos that I realized he had indeed succeeded. The 8 million investment set everything in motion. His net worth skyrocketed, and he began gradually redeeming his assets in Hong Kong. We are all moving in a positive direction. I thought I could successfully raise Mia, then let her decide whether she wants to meet her biological father. Things didn't go as planned. From constantly attending dinner parties, I drank a lot of alcohol. The alcohol quickly took a toll on my health. After a night of drinking, the sink was stained red with the blood I vomited. People have premonitions before they die. There's no time left. I didn't call an ambulance, nor did I call the police, because I wasn't sure who the police would assign to take care of Mia after my death. I didn't trust her being handed over to my parents, nor did I want her to be sent to an orphanage. So while coughing up blood, I dialed Lucas's number. The phone call wasn't even finished, only managed to give the building unit. Before losing consciousness, I felt regretted dying at home instead of at work. No compensation can be obtained. Mia was crying loudly beside my legs. I heard Lucas's voice, panicked, hoarse, and broken. Winnie, he's calling me. I'm coming right over. Don't hang up. In a daze, I heard him choking back sobs. All sounds are fading away. I think he will take good care of Mia. He indeed took good care of her, provided her with everything she could want, spoiled to the point of running wild. Wait till I get back. I'll slap each of you. The barrage of comments suddenly flooded the screen, so dense it was hard to see. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's Mia gonna do? You can't just jump off a building even if you want to escape. That gold digger is still tricking her into secretly transferring her father's money. Anyone with a brain wouldn't jump from the 3rd floor. Right, break a leg, then get taken away by that gold digger to be completely exploited and locked up at home. That'll teach you to behave. Where's the butler? Where are the maids? Has no one noticed the young lady climbing out the window? I floated up to the 3rd floor. Thanks to my wall phasing skills, I found her quickly. She was hesitating by the window. Even with the green belt as a buffer, injury is inevitable. It's too high. We need to think of another way. She was on the phone, rubbing her head in frustration. The person on the other end quickly responded, all right, no rush. Your dad probably hasn't cut off your card yet, right? Better prepare early. Already did. It's fine. I know what to do. Don't worry about the money, just book the hotel and train tickets first. Mia, the guy chuckled bitterly. Booking the hotel would max out my card. You'll have to book the tickets yourself. I'll transfer you the money. I'm sorry you have to bear this expense. Take it and stop talking nonsense. Anger welled up in my heart. I wanted to avoid looking at her to calm down, but when I turned my head, I saw the resplendent room, a room with a living area and a balcony, the walk-in closet filled with luxury brands. The bathroom is bigger than the bedroom I used to rent. Even more frustrating, Lucas spoils her like royalty. Is it to let her be drained by a Phoenix man? I want her to wake up. My hands pass through her shoulders, grasping nothing. I call out to the system, hurry up and give me a body. My hands are already itching. The system replied decisively, the tech team is working overtime. It'll definitely be ready by tomorrow night. Still have to wait a whole day. I gritted my teeth. She shuffled in her slippers and sprawled on the bed. With practiced ease, she tapped on the screen, opened a bank account, frowning, as if hesitating, repeatedly typing and deleting the password, finally gritted teeth and transferred a sum of money. Then effortlessly transferred another $200,000 to a different account, using Dad's money to tip male streamers. Hard to judge, easy come, easy go when it's not your own earnings. Hey, where's she going? I remember Mia specifically befriended a maid before, probably making a run for it. I quickly followed her. As expected, a middle-aged woman pushed a food cart and stopped at the door of the room. She discreetly dropped the key onto the carpet, then used her foot to slide it under the door. Mia lay on the ground and quickly grabbed the key. She cautiously waited for half an hour before opening the door to leave. I gritted my teeth and followed Mia. Perhaps her house arrest hadn't been made public. The security guard quickly arranged a car for her when she mentioned going to a restaurant to have dinner with friends. Why isn't Lucas at home? He just left for the company after taking a call. Hurry back, male lead. If you don't come back soon, your daughter will be gone. He's still in a meeting right now and can't even answer the phone. No worries. He'll know once he sees the bank transaction notification after the meeting. Arrived at the restaurant, the driver drove away. She ducked into a coffee shop, quickly put on a mask and baseball cap, sat by the window, glancing around. About 10 minutes later, a tall, lean, and handsome young man tapped on the glass. Mia quickened her pace and leaped into his arms. I shut my eyes tightly. Before I could even curse, a sudden wave of dizziness hit me. The system shouted excitedly, almost there. Once it loads, you'll have a body. I experienced death once again. There was no sense of time, only a void of darkness remains, like the darkness seen when covering one eye. Sound arrives before light. Another argument. Mia has been caught and brought back home to evade Lucas's intelligence network for 3 days. Mia does have some skills. She was never stupid. Just purely rebellious. She's underage, so her hotel check-in info couldn't be tracked. Otherwise she'd have been caught within half a day. I opened my eyes. Half of my soul was stuck outside my body, the other half fused into my flesh. There was crying in the study. Lucas pressed his lips tightly together, his hands stiffly curled. The girl's face bore clear finger marks. She stood frozen in disbelief, tears welling up rapidly. Lucas swallowed slightly, not averting his gaze. Do you admit your mistake? Mia clenched her teeth, glaring at him fiercely without uttering a word. Mia, speak. The desk thudded heavily. Buying gifts to meet that guy's family, showing off and pretending to be rich. If I hadn't found you, do you know how dangerous it could have been? In a place like this, the police wouldn't even make it to the village entrance by the time you're dead. Lucas slammed a stack of high-resolution photos onto the table. How was I supposed to know his house was in such a remote area? She retorted while wiping her eyes, her sobs coming in broken gasps. My own mother never hit me. If she were still here, she wouldn't let you hit me either. Lucas clenched his fists tightly, his eyes turning red again. He turned away, taking deep, uneven breaths. Mia brushed past his shoulder and yanked the door open with force. My body has finished loading. Both feet touched the ground, even through the soft carpet. There remains an unreal sense of floating. I cannot see my own face. The delicate, reflective skin on the back of the hand was mesmerizing. The door in front of me was suddenly pulled open. I locked eyes with Mia. She had inherited her father's height advantage. He's already grown a bit taller than me. She saw me and froze for a moment. Suddenly, she grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the study. Lucas, She pointed at me and angrily questioned him. Who is she? When did she get here? Going after someone so young, have you no shame? Lucas slammed the desk in anger. What exactly am I going after? I was pulled off balance, staggering forward a few steps, barely managing to steady myself. Lucas leaned sideways against the table, his gaze slanting down with disdain. The atmosphere froze in an instant. His face was blank to the point of appearing foolish. After a long while, he barely moved his neck. His body followed, slowly turning to face me. I unconsciously smoothed my hair. I don't know where to look. As a ghost, there were countless things I wanted to say. When old friends reunite after years apart, how should they greet each other? You've aged so much. That doesn't seem appropriate. Straightforward confession. That would be too terrifying. Facing the absurdity of coming back from the dead is something you only truly understand in the moment. Mia stood among us, looking around. Obvious what? Her breathing grew gradually weaker, somewhat unsteady. Have you been together all along? Did I just happen to be here and accidentally catch you? Mia, get out. Lucas suddenly spoke up. She stubbornly stood her ground. Why should I leave? Mia, Lucas pointed at the door, his voice sharp and stern. Get out. Close the door behind you, and don't make me repeat myself. The door slammed shut with an echoing thud. The ground felt shaky. I turned to look back, but there was no one there anymore. Lucas cleared his throat, futile, with a faint hint of a sob. Miss, you are. He covered his face and pressed his temples, letting out a sigh. The estate security is very tight. May I ask how you got in? I hesitated, unable to speak. The words on the tip of my tongue took a detour. Would you mind if I use the restroom first? Lucas was taken aback again. In a daze, he pointed to the northeast corner. Over there, over there. I leaned against the wall, staggering my way to the bathroom. Just entered this body, limbs limp as noodles. Forgot how to walk. I guess I must look like someone with congenital cerebellar hypoplasia right now. The door blocked that gaze that had been persistently following my back. The face in the mirror still carries traces of childishness, long hair. No makeup, a youthfulness that even late-night takeout couldn't obscure. It's me, just graduated. The system urges me to go out and meet Lucas. How long are you going to hide here? What should I do then? I said, go out and say hi. I'm your ex-girlfriend. I've been reborn, and in this life, I'm going to take back everything that belongs to me. The system remained silent. I splashed water on my face. What identity have you assigned me? You have no new identity. The system remained silent for a moment. Creating a completely new identity record is troublesome, requiring the matching of extensive social information. You won't be staying long, so there's no need to arrange a new ID. So, I'm currently an undocumented person. Strictly speaking, yes, no money, no phone. Facial recognition identifies me as the deceased Winnie. Can't take a single step outside. I wipe the water off my face and walk out of the bathroom. The warm yellow desk lamp was soft and dim. The study wasn't bright. The blackout curtains hung to the floor, swallowing the daylight. Lucas was frozen on the sofa like a stone. The laptop in front of him honestly displayed the surveillance footage. No one saw me enter the estate. Outside the study, I appeared out of thin air. He repeatedly dragged the progress bar, looking up in disbelief. Look at me, eyes bloodshot. I clench my fists behind my back, tightening and loosening them. I say, long time no see. He remains motionless, staring at me, suddenly stood up, supported his waist with one arm, turned his back and paced a few steps, then turned around again, as if on the verge of tears. I inexplicably felt a guilt akin to feigning death. Lucas, it's hard to explain, but, I paused for a moment, the anger rising belatedly. Let's not talk about that for now. You've spoiled Mia too much. She actually wanted to jump off a building to find her boyfriend, in this case. I fully support you giving her a beating. Who taught her this kind of behavior? His throat convulsed violently, a sudden light flashed in his eyes. I stand by the bookshelf, watching him approach. My heart races without reason, only an arm's length remains. He raises his arm, closed my eyes to steady myself, then reached out a hand toward me. I instinctively extended my hand in return, giving it a slight, unconscious shake. He swallowed hard, his voice trembling slightly. Have you been doing all right lately? It probably isn't very good, I stammered. You know, just came back to life. Still getting used to it. Unsurprisingly, an awkward silence fell. I lowered my head and sheepishly withdrew my hand, yet couldn't pull it back. Lucas tightened his fingers even more, nearly enveloping my entire hand. He asked hoarsely, "Can I give you a hug?" Yes, yes, The air was squeezed out of my chest. I felt like I had turned into a stress relief toy. Squeaking with every squeeze, body heat transmitted through the thin shirt, the contours of muscles, the rise and fall of breathing, the edges of the belt, all imprinted against my body. He hunched over, pulling me against his chest. The embrace felt entirely unfamiliar, yet it swept away all the earlier awkwardness. At 44, Lucas's fitness regimen was evident. Though I can no longer clearly recall his figure from his 20s, yet it seems he's grown even more toned than before. "Found time to work out. I see life's treating you well." I press against his chest, pull out the shirt a bit and tuck in the hem. The deep-cut V-lines at the waist are just right for placing both thumbs. Lucas grabbed my hand and pressed it against his face. "I'm getting old," he said. "It's time to take care of my body." The skin beneath my palm has a gritty texture. No stubble is visible, yet it scrapes against my hand with a raspy itch. More bone than plump collagen. The bones were covered with a thin layer of flesh, revealing a cold, hardened familiarity with the ways of the world. Lucas buried his face in my hair. He pulled me close with force, then slowly let go. His breathing steadied, and no further emotions could be read in his eyes. "Are we staying here? I can't go out. I'm undocumented." "It's fine." He raised his hand, supporting the back of my neck and pulling me closer. "There are plenty of rooms at home. Are you hungry?" "Not hungry." "Yeah, okay." "Okay," he responded absent-mindedly. His gaze wandered several times before settling back on my face. His eyelids were tinged red. Suddenly, he tightened his embrace around me again, his breath weak and faint. "Just one more hug." The study felt like a sealed-off realm. The moment I stepped out the door, a barrage of comments flooded in. "What just happened? Why is the screen completely black? What's preventing my esteemed VIP from watching? Hurry to the third floor, heroine. It seems your daughter might be dead again." "No big deal." Mia thought her dad had a new lover and is crying under the covers. Lucas gently squeezed my fingertips. "What's wrong?" I snapped back to reality. "I want to go see Mia. She seems to have misunderstood." Lucas let go of my hand and exhaled deeply. "There's a surveillance camera at her bedroom door, easy to spot. I won't go up. She doesn't like me visiting her." I spoke coldly. "Aren't you afraid she might mistake me for the other woman and hit me?" He pursed his lips and silently began leading the way. I gestured with my hands. "She's this much taller than me, not like me at all." Lucas chuckled. "Yeah, she takes after me in looks, but her temper is all yours. Stubborn as a mule, won't listen to anyone once her mind's made up." I said. "Aren't you too?" His smile froze and quickly disappeared. Perhaps we both recalled those not-so-good memories. We simply fell silent. The corridor stretched endlessly, with soft music playing in the background. Before I could get closer, a surveillance camera slowly turned toward me. It aimed directly at me and began to speak. "Take your bullshit and get the hell out of here. I'll move out next month. Let's give each other some face these days and not disturb one another." "All right." Lucas pressed the control panel on the wall to have the servant fetch the keys. I frowned. "Just open the door directly. There's no way to communicate right now." Lucas forced a bitter smile. "If we try to talk to her nicely, she'll leave us hanging here all day." I waved my hand, signaling for him to go ahead. "Let me have a word with her first." Lucas fell silent for a moment, then nodded. The sound of footsteps faded away. I stared at the surveillance footage, utterly perplexed. "Mia, have you hit your head or something? I worked so hard to find you a good father, and this is how you repay me by cutting ties, and moving out too. Don't you want the money anymore?" Silence lingered inside for a long moment. The tone of utter disbelief mirrored my own exactly. "Are you fucking crazy?" I pointed at myself. "Take a good look at my face before you speak, and if you dare say another motherfucking word, I'll have your boyfriend beaten into a punching bag. LMAO, I'm dying." "Boyfriend, who will speak up for me? Only children get rusty in the head after too long. Send them to study abroad for some real-world education. Fighting with the illegitimate child over property will teach them a lesson." The door was flung open. Mia shuffled in her slippers, her whole body tense with wariness. "Who are you?" She stared at me, trying hard to recognize who I was. "My mother died long ago." And she never mentioned having any sisters. It's very rude to keep someone standing at the door talking. You haven't even stepped into the Jefferson family's house, and you expect me to mind my manners with you. Whether your boyfriend turns into hand-beaten beef balls is up to you. You're acting all high and mighty before even becoming my stepmom. Huh, don't you know who I am? Lucas is giving you too much face. So young. I raised my hand and delivered a sharp slap. Her anger was visibly boiling over as she grabbed me by the collar. I sneered. If I'd known you'd turn out this twisted in the Jefferson family, I should have made that call to your grandmother instead. And as for you running away from home while claiming you wouldn't have acted out if I were there, let me tell you now, not only would I have beaten you, I'd have whipped you into a spinning top. Her grip immediately loosened. The words tumbled out in my anger, my palms burning hot. A wave of regret soon followed. Did I hit too hard, in this situation? Asking me to speak nicely is really too much to ask. What mother could stay calm seeing her daughter like this? She glared at me fiercely. Who the hell are you? I looked up and met her gaze. She gritted her teeth. My mom died long ago. Then consider me temporarily resurrected. I averted my gaze and stepped past her. After just a few steps, my legs began to feel unsteady. A persistent buzzing filled my head. The system beeped a warning. This body was hastily made and is a bit rough. Incompatible with your soul node. It needs to be fixed now. Quick, cover your head. You're about to faint. No, I fell straight down. Mia flew into a rage. What are you doing? Setting me up, after I actually trusted you. Someone, get my father here now. My head is splitting as I open my eyes. Outside the window, everything is bathed in a bluish glow. I can't tell if it's dusk or dawn. I prop myself up and accidentally knock over a glass of water. The door unlocked with a soft click. A face peeked through the crack of the door. The nanny and I stared at each other in surprise. She jumped back and immediately reported into the communicator. She's awake. She's awake. Tell the master Miss Lynn has woken up. If she didn't wake up soon, Lucas would have gone completely bald from stress. Who can handle their wife dying twice? Does no one care about Mia? The poor girl thought her stepmom had set her up. Venting her frustration by posting 8 consecutive rants about wealthy family drama on social media, then her classmates mocked her for being naive, making her even more depressed. LOL, who sets up a trap and ends up unconscious for 4 days. Lucas hurried in, stopping a few feet from the bed. I rubbed my head and reached out. Come here. He lifted his arm and sniffed at his sleeve. Smells like smoke. You've been smoking again. He quickly added, quit. Stopped right after picking Mia up. These past few days, how could you suddenly faint? I changed the subject. It's nothing, fainting a few more times might be good. Consider it desensitization. Anyway, I'll be leaving sooner or later. The system says this is the real world. It's just that it exists on a higher plane, capable of observing and influencing humans. Originally, Lucas and I were just ordinary NPCs. But sharp-eyed viewers noticed us and found our dynamic intriguing. Thus Lucas and I became the protagonists of an independent world, observed by the audience. According to the script, I was supposed to live a long life, but the system failed to detect that my drinking would lead to a shortened lifespan. My death directly affected Mia's future destiny. The barrage of complaints was overwhelming, with some even sending razor blades to the observatory. Only then was I allowed a brief resurrection. Once everything returns to normal, I'll have to leave again. Lucas sat on the sofa, keeping watch from a distance. I said, do you have anything else? He looked a bit flustered. Only then did he stand up belatedly. Did I disturb you? No. If there's nothing else, come keep me company for a while after you wash up. He let out a soft sigh. Okay. The sound of running water in the bathroom lasted for a long time. I stared blankly at my surroundings. Back when we lived in a rented apartment, the entire place was only as big as this bedroom. The old neighborhood had wooden-framed sliding windows. The computer desk was placed right by the window. Lucas and I each had one. Lucas was swamped with work. I was afraid he was under too much pressure, so I dragged him into playing a farming game. He didn't understand and kept jumping around the fields, accidentally trampling the wheat. I really like him. I want to grow wheat with him for a lifetime. But life isn't just about growing wheat forever. He has his choices. I have my concerns. Parting ways was only natural, but since there's a chance to start over, it shouldn't be wasted. Lucas dried his hair as he stepped out of the bathroom. Perhaps from long absence under the sun, his complexion had grown paler than before, between fair and wheat-colored. It struck a perfect balance. I made some space beside me, yet he just sat on the edge of the bed, holding my hand. I asked, "How has Mia been these days?" "I've told her about you, she might need some time to accept it. Let her cool off for a while." I lowered my eyes and reached out to place a hand on his waist. His body tensed up. He remained silent, offering no response. I turned off the lamp and crawled into his embrace on my knees. In the darkness, my freshly washed skin felt cool to the touch. He hastily pressed down on my fingers, his breathing growing heavier. The towel came undone with just a gentle tug. I straddled in front of him. Damp hair dripped slightly, falling onto my arms. He tilted his head trying to avoid it, but I kissed him on the lips. "Winnie," he whispered, pleading, "you're still young, and I'm already old. You can have a new life." I pressed close to the tip of his nose. "There won't be. There's a 22-year age gap between us. Does it matter?" "Important." He gripped my waist, trembling slightly. "Are you sure I won't make you regret this?" I didn't answer. Instead, catching his lower lip between mine, he involuntarily parted his lips to meet mine several times. Startled awake in panic, it stopped me. "Have you ever regretted being with me?" He cupped my chin, his voice dropping lower. "What were you thinking when you called me to come?" I froze. I hadn't expected him to bring that up. At first, "I wasn't entirely sure you hadn't changed," I said, later, hearing the urgency in your voice. "I knew you'd take charge." He held me tight, doing his best to steady his voice. "Do you still hate me now?" I stayed silent. "I stopped blaming you long ago." Silent as the grave, my heartbeat thuds distinctly against my right ribcage. Lucas grips my wrist, hesitating for a long moment, then presses it against his cheek, awkward yet docile in his closeness. I was actually surprised, being so considerate. In high spirits, I said, "If you can't take it, you can beg me." He responded softly, "Okay." I regret it. I truly regret it. Thought I could appreciate the subtle nurturing charm of an older man. At this age, the vigor isn't what it used to be, so I've started focusing on honing my skills. It made me sweat bullets, calling out, "Brother, uncle," and "Dad," in desperation. Lucas is more composed now than in his youth. I gripped his arm, panting heavily. "If you don't want to give it, then get off." He lowered his head to nuzzle the corner of my lips, his voice steady and slightly hoarse. "Be patient. If you can't take it, you can beg me." The household servants began their long vacation. The system said the fewer people who know of my existence, the better. Lucas has to work during the day. The entire estate is left with only security and the cleaning lady who comes periodically. Bored out of my mind, I called for the system to appear. "You only told me to teach Mia well. But how do I know when the task is completed?" Audiences dislike rebellious minors. The most straightforward approach is to make her act like a normal student who has received a proper education, even if she has to fake it. Have her dye her hair black, remove the tattoos, and attend school on time. Is that enough? The system remained silent for a long while. "Are you sure you can handle this? Girls at this age are harder to manage than a year-old pig." "My daughter isn't stupid. This can be resolved with just a few words. The biggest problem now is that I can't see her in person. I'm certain Mia is avoiding me." According to the housekeeper, she never used to go to school for 7 or 8 consecutive days before. She's never voluntarily asked to stay at school like this before, not to mention attending half a month of school without skipping a class. I relayed the butler's words to Lucas, asked him how he raised his child. He pressed his temples hard and remained silent. Bullet comments defended him one by one. "Who dares to interfere? For every word he says, there are 10 waiting from the other side." Mia has read Lucas's diary. She knows exactly which matter he can't let go of, precisely twisting the knife during every argument, chanting repeatedly, "You forced my mom to break up during her pregnancy. Even a deity couldn't handle this. And there's the ultimate weapon. You're only doing this because my mom is dead and no one can help me. If my mom were still here, she'd never let you hit me." Hard to say. I don't even know how to respond after reading these words. It's understandable that they didn't dare to intervene. I sighed. "Forget it, I'll talk to her when she comes back." Lucas set down the documents and tentatively asked, "Parent-teacher conference is in a few days. Are you going?" I hesitated for a long time. "I won't be attending the parent-teacher conference. if Mia's classmates ask about me. It would be hard to explain, Lucas nodded, concealing his disappointment. Fair enough, is she about to have her monthly break? This weekend, Lucas pursed his lips, most likely won't be coming home, she usually flies to Japan during holidays. I sat up from the couch, no problem, I'll intercept her at the school gate, have someone schedule an appointment for tattoo removal and hair dye. He tilted his head slightly with uncertainty. Is this too hasty? Hasty, I said. The fact that we've dragged it out until now is only because I came back too late. He laughed. Not too late, at least Mia isn't as old as you are yet. Hell joke. Lucas quickly notified the doctor. Tattoo removal requires an on-site assessment of skin condition to ensure optimal fading results. I'm a bit excited, though I couldn't play freely. It was still my first time going out to the fresh world. 11 years after my death, the Jefferson family's familiar shop sent over ready-made clothes. I tried them on one by one, asking Lucas for his opinion through the mirror. Outside the floor-to-ceiling window, the sky was a deep blue. In the distance, the towering buildings glittered with bright lights. Lucas sat with his legs crossed on the sofa, looking at me with half-lidded eyes. Which one do you think looks better? I urged. This black dress, or the pale yellow one? Comparing the two, they're equally good, I muttered to myself. Would the black one be more formal? Lucas chuckled softly. You're only 22. Why so serious? That's right. But subdued colors are better. Satisfied, I kept the black one, stretching out my arms and slumping beside him. This is the one, then I'll just wear a mask and put my hair up. He naturally wrapped his arms around me, speaking slowly. You've always liked pretending to be mature since we first met, and you haven't changed a bit all these years. TSK, what do you mean pretending to be mature? I crossed my arms. There's no way around it. Looking young at work gets you bullied, he said. No need to worry about that now. I exaggeratedly drew out my tone. Wow, Director Jefferson, success really changes a person, huh? It's different now. His expression was calm as he gazed at the night scenery outside the window. Then he looked down at me and spread his hands. Everything I couldn't give you before, I can give you now. A diamond ring. His breath trembled slightly. I was supposed to give this on your 25th birthday. Couldn't wait until then. I extended my hand. What should you say now? He said. I'm sorry. I turned my face away. Sulking, boring, making people cry again. I looked down and saw a dazzling blue diamond that nearly blinded me with its brilliance. Tears streamed from the corner of my mouth. The day I went to intercept Mia, the sun was shining brightly. In mid-October, the autumn breeze carried a slight chill. I lay sprawled across the back seat, my hand casually poking at Lucas's face. Hey, I'm really starting to like you more and more. He remained silent with a faint smile, resting my ankle on his knee. I was thinking, when Mia comes up, you go wait over there first. I'll call you after I finish talking with her, okay? The intercom crackled a few times. The bodyguard reported the situation. I saw the young lady. She wasn't very willing. Never mind, the young lady is here now. The car window was tapped. Mia dropped her school bag, her uniform jacket tied around her waist. She glanced at Lucas. He signaled for the driver to get out as well and boarded another car. Mia sat with her legs crossed, looking out the window. What do you want from me? I stared at her lips. Oh. I forgot about this. You'll need to remove the piercings too. She lowered her legs and sat up straight. Explain clearly. Get the tattoo removed. Take out the lip ring, and dye your hair back to black. She sneered, coming back and immediately bossing me around. I said, do you genuinely like these things? Or are you just trying to be different and oppose your dad? None of your business. Mia, I'm not planning to argue with you. I twisted the ring on my ring finger, to be honest. I don't have that much time to wage a prolonged battle with you either. She suddenly looked up. What do you mean? I said calmly. It means I won't be staying much longer. As for things like tattoos and hair dye, if you really like them, you can do them once you've established yourself. Lucas indulges you, partly because I died early and he feels guilty towards you. I'm back. He's made up for all his regrets. But how he'll treat you in the future is hard to say. The other half means you're being excluded from the inheritance. Don't even say you're the only child. Even if he doesn't have other children now, he'll have plenty of energy to have more later. Ask your classmates how those incompetent yet inheriting children in their families usually meet their end. Don't argue with your father. study hard and learn to flatter him well. Once you've secured the family fortune, you can tattoo whatever you want on yourself, of course, by then. You won't be doing these things that affect the stock price anymore. And one more thing, he's not married, so bringing anyone home is perfectly reasonable and legal. If I'm gone, you'd better call those women Mom obediently. Remember to change your surname. Whether you listen to these words or not is up to you. I can only warn you of one thing, money is the most tangible, figure it out early. Life doesn't offer many chances for regret. The driver will take you to the hospital. Whether to remove the tattoo or not is up to you. I blurted it all out, opened the door, and got out of the car. She stared at me in shock, speechless. The barrage keeps arguing non-stop. Lucas did nothing wrong but got speculated about. Pure unlucky guy. First time feeling bad for a guy's misfortune. If you say this to the child, how will she view her father later? Why are biological father and daughter still playing the roles of ruler and subject? Mia must be so confused. Probably still thinking her mom was some tragic, early deceased innocent flower. Feels a bit excessive to teach a child to be wary of their own father at such a young age. In this kind of family, 16 is still considered young. The mother isn't wrong either. It's normal to worry about her daughter's future well-being. If Mia had proper guidance, she would have woken up long ago. Frankly, with Mia's behavior, Lucas would never hand the company to her. Playing innocent and using emotional manipulation might get her more money. This mom is being practical. Lucas watched as the driver took her away. He looked somewhat worried. Winnie, he carefully chose his words. What did you say to her? Before I could answer, he spoke again. She just started accepting you. Don't scold her. Am I really that scary? I clicked my tongue in dissatisfaction. I just told her about the methods my mom used to deal with me. I said if she didn't behave, I'd send her back to Grandma's house for some toughening up. Lucas was silent for a long while. He reached an arm around the back of my neck and pulled me close. Do you want to go home for a visit? I stayed silent. I don't want to. Then don't go back, he said. Your parents didn't even come to your funeral. I figured. I had just fought with them at the time. Damn it. Someone must have given my new contact info to my mom. My younger brother is in a hurry to buy a house for a blind date and is still short of about $160,000 to $170,000. My mom keeps calling me every day, saying that since he's my brother, I have to take care of it. I thought my mindset was very stable after working for so many years. I can even argue with my boss without changing my expression. Her words completely broke my defenses. The more I scolded her, the more excited and energized she became, after blocking and deleting her. I was still trembling all over. I lay in bed, furious to the point of half-death. Love and family ties, they're nothing. Money is my life. I worked overtime with all my might, dreaming of immigrating someday, ended up drinking myself to death. This damn life. Lucas deliberately cleared his throat. I snapped back to reality. Got a cold? No, he said. We rarely go out. Don't overthink it. Let's get out and walk around. A few figures gather by the riverside, chatting and laughing. The system suddenly pops up. Wake up, you're currently a living dead, an anomalous existence. The world has error-correcting capabilities. Don't establish too many connections, or you'll be detected and forcibly extracted. Then please cover for me. No, this counts as a violation of the rules. Rebirth is already a major violation. What's one more? I put on my mask and stepped out of the car. An utterly ordinary evening. The clouds carried a hint of fiery hues, reflecting on the river's surface. Electric scooters beeped incessantly, coming and going. Lucas's outfit is too eye-catching. A passerby whispered softly, asking if we were filming a short skit. Those with sharp eyes recognized him and gave him a seemingly casual pat. I instinctively dodged the camera. He held my head, shielding my profile. Feels like the company will be spreading rumors tomorrow about you keeping a lover. Lucas raised his hand. On his ring finger, the band was understated. What lover? It's just that my wife takes good care of herself. I'm out of ideas. A smile rippled in his eyes, silently, yet full of tenderness. A shiver ran down my spine. We're not just starting to date, we're already so familiar. Don't look at me like that. It's weird. He leaned down and, through the mask, gave a light touch. A fleeting contact, gone in an instant. I didn't make a sound. The system laughed loudly. Red-skinned duck. So many people saw it. It's so sweet. not sweet at all. I dragged Lucas and fled in panic. There's a sense of shame like making out under the university dormitory. Mia never came home. I didn't ask her what she really thought. Going out last time did affect me after all. I can clearly feel my energy has significantly declined. As for Lucas, he's been in a good mood these past few days. Always swaying left and right in front of me. I couldn't hold back anymore. What exactly are you so happy about? He let out a sigh of relief, with a look that said, you finally asked. Mia went out and asked if I wanted anything. He twirled his tie with a hint of pride. Enjoying the view? I asked. Did she give it to you? He gave a light hum through his nose, as if to say yes. Great, I've never been abroad in my life. Mia, you little rascal, the good life you're living is all thanks to me. I scrambled up and grabbed my phone, followed the little gold book and made a half-meter long list, clicked on Mia's chat box and sent it. The other person is typing, cleared, typing, then sent a security guard salute meme. That's more like it. I'm full of anticipation, waiting for Mia to bring something back for me. She arrived home that very night, empty-handed. Her spirits were already low. Now she was on the verge of fainting. Lucas looked at her with surprise, unable to hide his delight. Did you dye your hair back? What about the lip piercing? She clicked her tongue in annoyance, took it out. Your wife doesn't like it. With that, she turned to me again. I was already scheduled to return today. I had someone else buy what you wanted and send it back. Phew. I patted my chest. That puts my mind at ease. She snorted, pulling the luggage. I turned back by the stairs, awkwardly. I brought you other gifts. Come get them if you want. I froze for a moment. I suddenly felt at a loss. She led me into the bedroom and locked the door behind us, pushing the suitcase toward me. Take whatever you need. Is that for real? I looked at them one by one with a smile. She sat cross-legged on the carpet. What's wrong with your voice? Without changing my expression, I said, I've had a bit of a cold these days. She said, oh, your dad was happy for days after receiving the gift. I said, he treated you quite well. Why have you always disliked him? Mia remained silent. I looked up and asked again. She impatiently turned her head away. He treated you so badly, and you're still speaking up for him. I frowned. What's wrong? He didn't care when you burned your hands cooking for him, made you walk 2 kilometers in heavy snow to buy groceries, and yelled at you to get out. When you were pregnant, he gambled away everything and forced you to break up. How could you tolerate all that after being such a doormat for so long? Even after making it big, he never came back for you. If he had given you even a little money, would you have drunk yourself to the point of vomiting blood? I rubbed my head. How do you know all this? How do I know? He wrote it in his own diary. Disgusting. Lucas believes in the traditional gender roles where the man works outside and the woman takes care of the home. At first, I was indeed the one who cooked at home. But one time, I got too busy and overwhelmed. I was in a hurry to bring food to Lucas. A few drops of boiling dumpling soup splashed out, scalding the back of my hand. Lucas was working at a company at that time, working overtime non-stop, rushing to handle an important project with the team. He went abroad right after the meal and truly didn't have time to attend to my hand injury. He's been the one cooking ever since. As for that heavy snowfall, it was a once-in-a-decade event. The snow piled up so deep that cars couldn't move and food deliveries stopped. Lucas ran a fever. I went to buy medicine and also picked up some groceries to stock at home. What's the point of recording such things in a diary? I would do this even for a roommate, let alone a partner. Getting angry over this is even more ridiculous. Long-distance relationships can lead to arguments, let alone living together. After living together for 3 years, even saints would have moments of Cold War. Lucas isn't the most patient, but he's decent. Even at his angriest, he never curses. I particularly like this about him. When was it that you told me to get lost? I've already forgotten. I don't know the reason. I also couldn't let go of the investment matter, but later I came to understand it. I rested my head on my arm, leaning against her pillow. Your grandfather and 3 generations before him all built their fortune this way. Betting their lives is a family tradition. Your father had ambition. And that's exactly why I pursued him. I saw his potential. She scoffed, murmuring under her breath. I thought you were love-struck, but turns out both of you had your own agendas. Then why didn't you take the money when you broke up? At first, it was mainly about betting on the potential. I smiled. But later, I genuinely started to like him. falling for Lucas was all because of one sentence. I bragged to him, said I went head-to-head with the supervisor at work for 800 rounds. Successfully pushed aside the well-connected colleague and secured a bonus for myself, although later, the boss had a talk with me, telling me not to make things so ugly, but I got the money, hee. I thought Lucas would praise me, but all I saw in his eyes was guilt. He said he wouldn't let me experience such humiliating things again in the future. Sounds like an empty promise. I brushed it off with a laugh at the time, but that night, I stayed in the bathroom for a long time. Does it hurt your pride? It's just making a scene and arguing in public, then getting criticized a few times. If I told my mom, she would definitely say, at work, it's always like this. When the boss criticizes you, it means they value you. A friend might give a thumbs up. You're so good at scolding people, teach me. As for being scolded, it's fine, just bear with it. At least the money's in hand. I've gotten used to bearing with it too. No one ever said this was a matter of wounded pride. I washed my face clean and slipped back under the covers, half asleep. Lucas opened his arms and effortlessly pulled me to his chest. The next day, he noticed my puffy eyes but didn't say a word. 50,000 was transferred to my account that day. I spent the whole day sobering up. I warned myself that whoever falls in love is doomed. At first, I could still restrain myself, trying to show him my high-energy side. Later, I couldn't do it anymore. I became hopelessly dependent on him, happy. Angry, I wanted to tell him everything. That was the year I lost all sense of self-preservation. He learned that his family in Hong Kong had passed away, and he was burdened with new debts. I transferred all my money to him. I said forget it, I accept living in poverty. I'd willingly spend the rest of my life paying off debts together, loved it to bits, yet still broke up. Mia listened with her head down, no idea what was on her mind. It feels weird talking about these things with someone younger. I uncomfortably averted my gaze and said softly, that's why I didn't take that check. Money is my life. But at that moment, I felt he was more important. You complain that he became successful and didn't come looking for me. But how easy do you think it is to find someone? I gestured to show the distance. He kept moving around, and I frequently changed jobs and addresses. Besides, after parting ways, not disturbing each other is the most dignified approach. No one could have predicted that I would have an accident. It's not your dad's fault. Mia made a peace sign with her toes. She also looked a bit awkward and let out an, oh, so close. My brain froze, and I instinctively tickled the sole of her foot. She jerked her foot back, caught between laughter and annoyance. What the, are you crazy? I sat up and quickly crawled over to her side. She couldn't dodge in time, and I pinned her down to start tickling her armpits. In such situations, one usually shouldn't laugh. Laughing makes you lose strength. She wriggled like a catfish. Call me mom, I said, not the kind of mom with a whip, nor the mom who plays tiles. She laughed too hard to speak. You, old folks play so wild, even know about whips. I scratched even harder. Mia, she gasped. Mom, mommy, enough, stop scratching. I let go of her and laughed. Say it again. Her face flushed as she caught her breath, smoothed her clothes, and turned her face away. I pointed at the desk. You weren't even as tall as that chair when you were 5. Who knew you'd grow so fast? She snorted. I never thought I'd see my mom's college graduation look again. A line of large text flashed through her mind. Recognized Mia, character restoration complete. Mission accomplished. The system abruptly appeared. Well done. It rarely showed sympathy. Hurry and say your goodbyes. There won't be much time left. I suppressed my smile. So soon, the system seemed to sigh. Your daughter had issues with Lucas, but now that they're resolved, there's nothing left to say. Mia turned her back to me, typing on her phone. I gave her a light kick. All right, go ahead and do your own thing. Get some sleep early. She didn't turn around, just mumbled a vague response. All right, got it. Back to the master bedroom. Lucas is in a formal top and casual pants. In the middle of a meeting, he glances at me, quickly smiles, and gestures for silence. I nodded and climbed into bed quietly. The meeting was long and tedious. I was dozing off. Suddenly, the space beside me sank down. I took the opportunity to roll over and draped my leg over him. What did you talk about with Mia? Don't even mention it. I lifted my eyelids. You might as well rename your diary, Confessions. All those trivial things you wrote made me explain for ages. Did you explain it clearly, barring any surprises? You'll hear her call you Dad tomorrow. He nuzzled me with his slightly damp hair. I'm thinking of putting company matters aside for a while. Anywhere you'd like to go. My breathing felt faintly labored, buried in his chest, holding on tighter. Let's not go. It feels inconvenient. The identity issue can be resolved. Just tell me if you want to go or not. The back of my head tingled. He closed his eyes, his fingers threading through my hair, lightly scratching my scalp. And the wedding, do you want to have one? Drowsiness crept in. I sighed contentedly. Let's talk about it next time. Just a little more scratching. I'm sleepy. He chuckled softly and turned off the desk lamp. But suddenly, the phone lit up. It only vibrated once, startling me awake, after being overworked for so long. The habit of waking up in fright at the sound of a phone call just won't go away. Lucas frowned and answered the phone. After listening for half a minute, he sat up and said softly, "There's still some work left to do. I'll sleep in the next room," the system said. Let him stay, just for this moment. I turned a deaf ear and stretched out my hand toward Lucas. He bent down in surprise, murmuring a gentle complaint. "What's this?" "A reward for my hard work, of course." I kissed him on the cheek. "Put in more effort. Our Mia will be counting on you to provide for her in the future." He took the folder away, filling the water glass casually. He placed it by the bedside. The light went out again. I collapsed onto the pillow, gasping for air. Flesh and skin seemed to be peeling away. My soul began to split and tear from the fingertips. Each strand that separated vanished instantly. The clock points to 0:40 in the early morning. Only half an hour has passed. Yet the kaleidoscope before my eyes has already cycled 3 times. Breathing becomes increasingly difficult. The mattress beneath me begins to sound a sharp alarm. "Master, your heart rate is detected to be too high. Should I call emergency services?" This smart mattress is really smart. Consciousness gradually drifts away. Someone crashes through the door, stumbling forward in a hurry. "Winnie, Winnie, don't shake me." I struggled to open my eyes. Mia called, her hands trembling. "The doctor will be here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Mom, Dad, call her. Hurry up and call her." At the edge of consciousness, it was still the familiar sound of Mia's crying. A sharp warmth fell on my face. "This isn't fair." Lucas choked up. "Why didn't you let me see you grow old either time?" At least they met again, even at 44. Lucas still looked the way I liked him. Beep, heart rate flatlined. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.